Abusia, more breaking news be na breaking news no sɛbsɛb yɛnka Ghana for yaw ɛyɛ 3 months ni ɛna atorentam ɛto ɛyɛ ɔman Ghana ɔyɛ mpanyinfoɔ nwɔtwe a ɔmo di dwumade abo ɔman no ɛne Ghana ne ɛyɛ Ghana mpuntu ɛma atorentam sɛ na abusua breaking news aba ne sɛ na ɛkɔsi sɛ na yɛn nyinaa hwehwɛ sɛ ɔmo se incident na ɛsiiɛ no efre bibi black box na eno na ɛbɛkyerɛ incidents a ɛsiiɛ na nhyira Awurade sɛ report no official report no aba abɛdwu yes aba abɛdwu a nyame boa Monday ɛna ɛyɛ government communications ɛbɛmɛ unveil crime hu ade property no ɛyɛ very shocking ɛyɛ na abusua ne nyina ne sɛ job news na report sɛ on August 6th helicopter tragedy to be presented to National Security Council on Monday, November 10th, made public on Tuesday, November 11th. Felix Ofosu Kwache, not just government communications, Ofosu Kwache, Felix Ofosu Kwache. There is a report no anya ababiju report no anya abiju because na obi ehwe ni mu se ede ne be cause ode ne be masa incident we abedu se international Awurade official report no aba abedu a nyame adoma edadwo ada omode be kwakwa eye omode kwa national security na omo abiem no mahwehwe a unveil the details of the causes of the crash abusia me the flyer na beto screen ni nkotie eye wing commander nkomo bia wodi about the black box no when they report to abai na yehwe the difference. God bless you. Stay tuned, stay connected.
It's on top of it. So you talk about the wings, but this one it goes up.
Yes.
But you said the answer to the critical question you asked about why this chopper came this low can be found in the black box.
Only in a black box. You see, he took off from Accra. He gets to a height selected. And he's supposed to fly all that height until he gets to destination and then descend.
That's right.
So what caused it? Maybe 10, 20 minutes to destination to come down and hit.
But there are two devices in the black box.
One is a voice recorder.
The cockpit voice recorder and the flight data recorder.
That's a black box.
Okay.
The voice recorder is communication between the two pilots and the control tower.
Right. So which one of them needs the manufacturer to?
The black box.
The black box. So the cockpit voice recorder can't be decoded.
The voice recorder is not too
important.
It's involved. If I was telling him that, look, I'm ditching, that we have, which is called Mayday. Mayday everywhere means that I am in trouble. Emergency phase, it can record it. And then a conversation between the pilots as how they're executing the emergency will also be there. But the black box will record all the parameters.
Right.
How it was flown, what happened, how it came down, will all be recorded in the black box.
You see. But then the voice recorder will only give us that communication of the impending disaster.
Yes. If it discusses, both of them are flying, and then suddenly they see that they are falling down, they may talk, or whether he even called the control tower in Kumasi or in Accra that have an emergency. And as I said, helicopter can stay in the air by the rotors. If it doesn't, I think a couple of days after that, there was one around Kumasi area. Fortunately, he managed to land in a school park. If there's a space, he will save the aircraft and himself. But on top of trees, it is difficult. When he has no control about the descent or ascent. I'm saying this to clear the minds of people. That
yes.
They were no suicidal pilots that were flying to kill themselves. All that thought of conspiracy theories have come in, but they don't.
And in fact, that's one of the major reason why we have you here this morning, just to dispel this speculation and give education, which is key, and how the way forward will be.
Back on that, if there should be an intentional something to destroy the flight, kill people on board, then the person will have to have access to the aircraft.
I see. So if we have to ever even,
Yeah.
under any circumstance, consider foul play, the
That's what I'm
person will
trying
have
to
to be
explain
on
that
the
the
aircraft.
person not on the aircraft will have to have access to the
Access to
area.
the
And
area.
then don't forget, this is an Air Force helicopter. And it's on a base. And there's security all around. So anybody having access to go and do it is difficult. Or else the technicians. And it won't be one technical person doing a pre-flight. There will be a couple of them. And if even there was something on board, which the only thing they could do, contaminate the fuel or the fuel lines. But these airplanes have flown a distance. And then it was not detected on a console that there's something wrong. Then immediately it would have landed somewhere and not even continued. So that issue too is I rule it out. I don't think anybody put, for example, you didn't know the time it was going to take off, the direction to time it. If, for example, you're flying from Accra to London, you know it's about 6 hours. Or to Frankfurt, where I first met Doctor. You know, it's about that period. So you can time it that maybe in 2 hours you explode. But the explosion didn't happen in midair. You know, it's after it hit something that it exploded. And if you can look at even automobile, head-on collision, sometimes they burst into flames. You know, and Doctor is saying human beings are very fragile. Any external shock will send you a comatose situation. So I strongly believe that the pictures we saw, maybe they were even dead already before they took the pictures. But the impact alone is enough to make you unconscious or kill you before you hit the ground. And once it hits the ground, 90% aircraft hitting ground will explode because aviation turbine fuel we use. But even this one use aviation kerosene by a civil attack. There's no aircraft to crash. Even on a runway, it blows. So I'm sure they were pushed out because if they went, then they must have crawled out and left.
Yeah.
By the street, I believe they were all gone before the fire even started. And then maybe got them bent.
Now, but is it possible for the black box not to contain any data? I mean,
It's impossible.
it's impossible. Okay.
It's impossible. But this case, Ghanaians are expecting results pretty fast. The black box will have to send back to China, or the Chinese will have to come here. But besides, let me talk about this aircraft. It was donated by the Chinese about 2 years ago. So they are
This
So new.
Z9
Yes, Z9.
was donated by the Chinese.
The Chinese for the sea patrols. That's why they are based in Takoradi. So they are modern aircraft. And this aircraft is a model of Dolphin of France.
Yes.
You know,
In fact, we showed it on their website.
yes,
I think it's on the
it
website.
is a good aircraft. But machines can fail you. They are mechanical at any time. Except down the road, you can brake. Or maybe you're traveling to Kumasi and you drive us into the bush. What made you drive into the bush? There must be a reason.
I see. So this is not the aircraft that was purchased in 2015.
No. It's about 2 years ago. Yes.
Which was
The
in
Chinese. We have the Zs, we have the MIs. The MIs are the big ones, the Russian ones.
Okay.
Extremely powerful. But that was not the type which was being used. It's a bit rugged for transporting VIPs or so forth.
What happens afterwards is also extremely important in we getting clarity, answers to what exactly led to this. We've seen a number of distortions, speculations out there. That's the major reason why you're with us this morning. But how did this news hit you, please?
First of all, let me greet your cherished listeners. I mean, my life in the Air Force, having been in there for a while and the past president of the Retired Air Force Officers Association, it's a sad situation. Extremely sad situation to leave your colleagues die carrying very important VIP passengers and to lose their lives. It's very sad. Extremely sad. I don't know. I'm not doing a PRO for the Air Force, but I'm here on my own experience
Indeed.
within the Air Force. Some of us were lucky to have been trained in Italy to fly jet fighters, and that's what I was doing. And we're the first jet fighters south of the Sahara. We take this in very serious, and also we are extremely sad. I think the Air Force will not be waiting for an official investigations. And this particular situation, I would say this is not the first time that the Air Force has lost a helicopter flying over a heavily dense populated area. One was about 25 years ago in Etiwa, when they were coming from Kumasi, weather was bad, and they lowered themselves and they hit a tree and killed all the passengers. Almost similar to what happened.
In the Tua Forest?
Etiwa Forest.
This eastern region?
Eastern region.
Was it the helicopter that was involved in the medical evacuation?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And all 5 on board died?
Yeah, they died, yes. They all died. The helicopter has to come down. Don't forget that. I brought this.
Yeah.
What gives the helicopter power to stay in the air are the rotors. And what gives the rotors the power is the engines. And honestly, I haven't come across that many pilots who like to take off and go and die, suicidal tendencies. Maybe we can go back to the Second War, the Japanese kamikaze.
Yeah.
And not too long ago, there was one in the U.S., Egyptian Air or something, who started saying prayers, and they thought psychologically he ditched the aircraft. But no pilot would like to take off and say, I'm going to die. That's one thing. How did the Air Force get involved? Normally, Air Force transports government officials from the president, or anytime they request for an aircraft, being a helicopter or being a fixed wing. It's our duty, and that's done in all countries. And I can tell viewers that the records of Ghana Air Force is pretty high. Our accident rate is very low.
The accident rate of the Ghana Air Force
is very low.
Is very low.
Yes, and our reputation. And most of our pilots either locally trained or trained abroad, or go abroad to go and do some more courses. And normally, if a government needs a transportation by air, they will originate the request to the Air Force headquarters. And depending on the type of mission, then the Air Force will now get the particular aircraft which can or suitable for that purpose. Now, when that request comes to the Air Force will send it to the station or the base, and then to the squadron that will have the task to perform Accra, Kumasi, Accra, Tamale. It will be their duty to select the aircraft which is going to perform and the air crew. And the air crew will go. So the air crew, what happens, you go to work in the morning, afternoon, and then you are given the task order that you are to fly A, B, C to this situation. And in our country where our road system is very bad, they do a lot of transportation of VIPs on helicopters.
On the helicopters.
It's very sad this happened as an accident.
And we've seen even civilians as well. Sometimes the Air Force gives that support to civilians also to fly to. In fact, some of my colleagues who have flown on some of these helicopters to cover stories at the Lobo border and so on. But on a typical day, as you indicated, you report you are chosen and told that you are flying ABCD. What are the protocols? What's the first few things you do before you get in there?
The protocol that you go through, first of all, we've got a task order to fly VIPs or passengers from where to where. Aircraft is selected, pilots are selected to fly. So when, as aircrew, you go to near the aircraft you're going to fly, it's your duty to examine externally how the aircraft looks like, or if there's anything wrong with it. Now, if you are satisfied and you go into the cockpit, we had what we call pre-start checks. You do your pre-start checks. If all the parameters in the in the console is okay, then you're allowed to start your engines. And after start, you also go back to check. This is not only to the Air Force or aviation. After start, you also check your instruments. If they are all right, then you may call the control tower and tell them where you are going.
Right.
And then the height and the rest. Control tower 2 will relate to you the weather conditions on en route. That's what they do. But in this particular case, the pilots were all qualified. The aircraft is qualified because it flies both morning, noon, and night.
I see. If you say the aircraft is qualified, what do you mean?
That means an all-weather aircraft.
The Z9?
Yes.
It's an all-weather aircraft?
All-weather, yes. I mean, it transports people in the night when the pilots cannot even see. They rely on their instruments.
So this is an aircraft that was equipped to fly even with the bad weather or not too good weather?
Yes. I mean, if the weather is so bad, and after it's been relayed to you, the captain, you're on board. If you think it's too bad, you can't. You just scrap the flight and wait for weather to clear. But I don't think the weather between here and Obuasi that day was so bad. I don't think so.
So, just because that's another narrative, I mean, the weather could have contributed. But then again, you say before they fly, they would get that information.
You get information and get clearance from the control tower to allow it to go to where you're going. You just don't get up and fly in the air. It's controlled all the time.
So you don't put any premium on bad weather as one of
I don't think so, because the squadron leader must have been flying helicopters minimum about 10 to 12 years. His co-pilot maybe ran that for a few years. For him to be selected as a captain of VVIP flight might be one of the best.
Yes.
You know, one of the best, you know. I think it's just an accident which happened. And planes fall all the time. It doesn't mean I'm not sympathizing with the dead. It hurts me. I also lost my colleagues like that, you know. But what I think we could do or can be done is that you select a height. And the pilot will not select a height to fly over treetops. Treetops is when you are given specific, they'll go low and look for something. But for safety reasons,
you fly above the trees.
You fly above any obstacle because a map is there, the topography is there. So you select a height not to go and get into anything.
I see. But then the other narrative, in fact, some of the residents in this Brofiedu area that our correspondent spoke to say they saw this helicopter fly at a very low altitude. If that's to be considered, or is anything to go by, what would cause something like that?
For that to be considered, if it was flying, I said, you won't have any tree in Ghana here about 2,000 feet, unless sitting on a mountain or something. But all these things are taken when you are preparing your height. You fly out to be approved by the control tower. You know, they saw the helicopter come low. What caused it to come low? This is the biggest issue.
So the biggest question is what caused it to come that low?
Yes. And they said they had ramming of the engine. It's when these rotors are moving. They sustain you in the air. And if for any reason, technically, something happened and you're coming down, don't forget helicopter ability to use helicopter is that it can land anywhere. If maybe they were close by a school, somewhere, they would have gone there for forced landing. But when you're in a heavily forested area, you don't have, time is not at your disposal. The aircraft is coming down, you want to pick it up, and it's not coming. The only thing is that you run into trees. And it takes time to be able to go and find exactly where it hit. It may hit a tree, let's say, first one, maybe 100 yards, and struggling to pick up or go and fall somewhere. But all these things can be deduced by investigations. So just seeing it and saying that it came low. Why did it come low? This is the biggest question.
And that should be one of the major subjects of the investigation.
That is it. Because it wasn't meant to fly into trees. And he wouldn't take a height just on top of a tree. Okay, he will definitely go up. Even if the tree is on top of a hill, they are all taken into consideration to select his height, or the height which may be given by the control tower. But in this case, the pilot himself will select a height not to run into any obstacle.
Now, if you are flying over a mountainous or hilly area, naturally, even when you're driving, you'll see these mountainous areas having heavy fog over them, and so visibility is low. In such instances, how do you navigate? Well,
pilots are trained to be able to do instrument flying. We have categories of license A, B, C, D. But in this particular incident, the captain was master green, that we could fly in all weather. And if we could fly even at night, where there are no lights, small trouble. And the visibility as we set it, I believe from here to the door should be about 50 meters. But at least 200 to 300 feet, he can see what is ahead of him. And if he can't see at all, he relies on his instrument. The height he took off, what is maintaining, and the direction. You don't fly blindly and follow your route. So as I said, we should find out what happened for the chopper to drop so low to hit a tree.
And that answer we can get how?
We can get it from black box. That's the only thing. And black boxes too is not something which although it's been found, but you just can't open and get the answer. It might be sent back to the manufacturers, or they come. What happened to Air India? There was a struggle between Boeing and India. And Indian government said no. So they had to come over, open it, and then decode what it seems like. Because black box, what it does is that it gives you all the parameters of the aircraft. As soon as it takes off, it's engaged. Whatever you do can be found in a black box. And since both air crew died, the only thing is to go to a black box and find out what happened. Was it an engine problem? What was it? Was it bird strike? But helicopters don't go down to have bird strikes, you know. So all speculations are doubtful. There's other aspect of people thinking maybe some galamsees maybe shot it down.
Well, that's another.
I can tell you, no rifle they use down there can bring the helicopter down unless a missile.
No rifle
being used at Galamsey side can bring a helicopter down.
Except a missile.
A missile. Then you might be a marksman. It's flying to engage to shoot either the pilot, but there are two. And they all have the same console. Or hit the fuel tank for it to. Even if you hit the fuel tank and it's leaking, the pilot knows that he's losing fuel. And he will start looking for somewhere to land. But in the forest area, it's difficult to find somewhere that you can force land. And as the plane cannot be sustained in the air, it's coming on down. It's between you and my God. And that is a risk of being a pilot too.
Now, we also got information from my colleague Ibrahim Abubakar, who spent some time in this community, that some of the debris were found 45 minutes walk away from the place of impact. How do you explain that?
Every aircraft incident, parts of it, they fly off. And the forest area where it finally landed, there was no road going there. They have to hack. Around about 3 hours after the incident, I was talking to the commander. He said they are now cutting their way.
Na subscribe to my YouTube channel, no like, and share, and comment, no, and social comment section. You better be near camera for any show for United. I was saying, you know, I say, at your enjoyment, see Ghana, some maybe a tremor. The Nina Echo Fire, we say, and painful being almost to quine. Let's say, almost to quine with the Juma at the Abo Minor, and my torrent and bearing. Isi. Emma ebeye oyo nipa ba oman mu mani twadwe pa na ni nyina ba se ebekwa kowie se yɛfrɛ bibi black box no ɛna ɛbɛkyerɛ ade kropɔte a ɛyɛ den akɔ so anaasɛ ɛkɔɔ so na abusua na ɛno na Felix Ofosu-Kwakye government communications ɛde aba abɛto dwa sɛ sese nyame ayɛ adom report no aba abɛdu Ghana a nyame ayɛ adom a ɛyɛ ɛda adwoada ɔmo ɛbɛdan na di ama Ghanafoɔ nyinaa nso ɛho sɛ nsɛm sei na ɛkɔɔ so bibi sei ɛna ɛyɛ dɛ ɛkɔɔ so ma ɔyɛ nyina ba abusua stay tuned.